This is Gene Silver. As usual, I have my wife, Michelle, and we have the lovely Darrell Bonapart, who is a candidate for District 5 in a runoff, and hopefully will be elected in November, showing my partisan leanings here. This is the Profound of the Ordinary on WGIV, the soul of Charlotte. And my lovely engineer, Fit, reminded me that if wishes were fishes, we would all have soul. So keep that in mind. Now, why don't you read the intro?
I have Darrell's introduction. Darrell Bryant Bonapart was born on February 18th, 1969, the youngest of 8 siblings in a working-class family in the Seversville community of Charlotte, North Carolina, who now resides in the Willora Lake community in East Charlotte. He attended Bruns Avenue Elementary School, Quail Hollow Junior High School, and graduated from South Mecklenburg High School in 1987. Darrell serves in the North Carolina Army National Guard, as well as various associations and community groups. He is a real estate training consultant for Wells Fargo Home Mortgage. Darrell served as president of the Young Democrats of Mecklenburg County from 2001 to 2003. He is a member of the Board of Directors, Mecklenburg Council on Aging. During Operation Iraqi Freedom, October 2003 to March 2005, he was handpicked to serve as Rear Detachment Non-Commissioned Officer in charge of all personnel and family matters of soldiers deployed into the Iraqi Theater of Operations. He is a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 9488 and a commander of the American Legion Post 400 in East Charlotte, as well as chairman of the Board of Directors for the North Carolina Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Darrell furthered his military studies in Fort Leonard Wood, where he graduated from the U.S. Army Engineering School in 1991, and Fort Sam Houston, graduating from the U.S. Army Medical School in October 2000. Darrell studied at the Mecklenburg County Focus on Leadership Institute, graduating in June 2000, and the North Carolina Institute of Political Leadership at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, graduating in December 2000. He also studied real estate at the Mingle Institute of Real Estate, graduating in October 1996.
Well, Mr. Bonaparte, I understand that you were a sergeant, which I always consider the best rank.
Yeah.
That's the one that does all the work. Otherwise, the Army falls apart. Were you in the Army or Marines?
Army. 15 years.
15 years.
Of
So.
service.
Yeah, that part right there. So yeah, I'm now a 15-year military veteran, disabled military veteran is my claim to fame as well. So during my deployment time, for Operation Iraqi Freedom, I sustained a severe injury that left me temporarily paralyzed at one point, and but I'm here to stay now. So I'm coming along very well.
Yeah.
And we're thankful for you and your service.
Thank you.
We well, let's begin, because there's a lot that I'm sure everyone's curious about. But let's begin with, what's your vision if you're elected to City Council?
Well, we have. Let me start with. We had a very successful election on last September 12th, and out of the 6 candidates, I did extremely well.
You did the best
in winning the primary election. And then this coming October 10th, we will have a special election. Tuesday, October 10th, we will have a special election. They call it Runoff Election, that will take place only for my District 5 in East Charlotte. And,
is there only one voting place?
No, what will happen is they will have early voting locations that will be open only in East Charlotte. They have not announced what those will be just yet. I think that'll be announced tomorrow. Okay. And then, but on October 10th, you will be voting at your location based upon the neighborhood that you live in on that election day. Okay. When it comes down to, and that'll be myself and the second place candidate that will only be in that election.
Okay.
I understand that, just to interrupt for Brent, that there were 6 candidates in the primary.
That's correct.
And aside from your opponent, have the other 4 endorsed anybody?
Yes, all of the other 4 candidates that were also in the race, they've all publicly endorsed me and will be supporting me for the October 10th election.
Well, that kind of
So
says a
I
lot.
feel very, very,
Very
honored
blessed.
and
Yeah.
blessed to have their support, and they're entrusting me to do a job that they themselves want to see done. They are too committed and concerned about the future of East Charlotte. And in regards to your question about my plans for East Charlotte, I want to see and focus on an East Charlotte that has the economic vitality
Yes.
of the East Charlotte that I grew up knowing. I was born and raised here in Charlotte. So all 49 years of my life, I know Charlotte. And what it comes down to is East Charlotte, at the time growing up here, East Charlotte was the Ballantine of Charlotte. Okay, before there was a Ballantine, there was East Charlotte. Had the largest regional mall in the entire state of North Carolina.
Yes, it did.
We are home
Yeah.
to the first and at one time the largest dome in the world. The Bojangles Arena was the first
Yes.
dome in the world when it was built in the 1950s, and it was the largest dome in the world as well. We have so much historical artifacts
Yes, we do.
and significance to the actual foundation of this city. And we want to ensure, as the elected officials, I want to make sure that they understand the significance of East Charlotte. East Charlotte is not the community, it's not the region of the negative media that
Right.
we receive
We
about
have.
the crime and all this, that, and that. That's not
That's
the East
not
Charlotte.
us.
East Charlotte is not the...
Just to interrupt, Michelle and I live in East
We
Charlotte.
do. We do.
So it's our district. So we would like to see an East Charlotte that is what.
And what you say really
vibrant
resonates with me,
community.
because I have noticed a bias in the media of they're really ready to report any negative thing, but they don't report on the beauty, the vitality. And I just see so much opportunity for growth and prosperity in our area that is unique. It is unique and valuable.
Well, I
I
want to
do
make
see
sure
that.
that the brand of East Charlotte is strongly restored.
Yes.
The economic
Yes.
powerhouse and family oriented and education oriented and business oriented community that we've always known ourselves to be, and that in itself I want to see as an elected official to see our business community be supported. Like they have
Yes.
for the Center City Partners that the City Council
Yes.
provided and established for Uptown, as well as they did for University. They created the University City Partners to help establish and market and protect and preserve and brand the University City area. And both of those areas that I just mentioned are just blowing up at the seams right now with prosperity and economic development and business development, residential development. Those communities are very vibrant, and I want to make sure that East Charlotte reestablishes that vibrancy, but also that we do not ever forget the least of those, because
That's
affordable
right.
housing
That's right.
is an absolute must in this city, and we are not going to allow that to be
Yes.
something that we push to the side for the sake of
We agree.
revitalization. Everyone must be remembered, everyone must be involved, everyone must be considered, everyone must be included. As this
Yes.
city prospers, we all must prosper in
That's
some form
right.
or fashion.
That's
right.
So
I
as
agree.
East
I
Charlotte gets
agree.
restored with our economic vitality, who we really are, the branding of an area that is family friendly, that's economic friendly, that's business friendly, we want to make sure that we also have an established a relationship with all of our community, that affordable housing, and affordable housing does not mean that you have rundown communities that is crime ridden. And I hate that stigma that has been given to that term affordable housing. That is not what that is. That is not what that
Affordable
means.
housing is decent housing.
That's correct. Affordable
Decent
housing is
housing.
decent housing for everyone to live. That
Yes.
affordable housing is actually established for police departments, for police officers, for teachers, for firefighters. That's what the term really surrounds, is for those professions in that area. It's not about people who are extremely low income. So we need to make sure that when we talk about that, we're on the right track and not trying to talk down to citizens who are in need of affordable housing and also living wages to go along
Yes.
with that affordable
That's
housing.
the
Yes,
thing.
we agree.
Affordable housing means that, look, in my life, I have been reasonably wealthy, and I've been direly poor. And guess which one I prefer? Now, when I need help, it's a hard lesson to learn, to say, I'll accept your help. Because a man wants to take care of himself, and his woman and his kids. And that I can't, well, that's a shame to me. I think it's a shame to most men. They feel shame for yourself. But you learn to accept help, but the help is not forever. I remember I was in New York City at the time, This is back about 40 years ago. And this gal had to cheat in order to get the education she needed. She had to pretend that she was not on welfare, because if she told them she was on welfare, she couldn't get into college, and they cut her welfare. So she had to cheat in order to get herself an opportunity, because she was a young mother, had like a 9-month-old baby at the time. And it's like, I was just shaking my head at the time. Just shaking my head. It's like, you should not discourage people from being able to better themselves. And you mentioned affordable housing. Well, again from New York City, this is the 1950s. They had a plan called urban renewal, which I thought, being a kid, meant, oh, you're going to help people who live in here renew the neighborhood. No, it meant tossing out the poor people and getting some rich people in there, and then jacking up the rents like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It's like, isn't there something in the Bible about treating the stranger well? And this ain't even a stranger. This is your neighborhood. So, jobs. What are the plans for jobs?
This is where we are. I mentioned to you about the Center City Partners, and I mentioned to you about the University City Partners, 2 organizations that were voted on and financed by the City Council. Those organizations have been very significant to the job creation in those regions. We do not have that support in East Charlotte. One of the things that I intend to bring forth is that we have a Charlotte East Partners that is brought about and supported by the City Council, as they've done for the other regions, to ensure that our businesses that are protected and supported, as well as having the marketing tools to bring in new businesses, which would create more jobs. We have over 100,000 citizens in District 5, less than 16,000 jobs. Why? Because Independence Boulevard, some 20 years ago, when they started widening Independence Boulevard and putting that ungodly wall down the middle of it, they destroyed thousands of jobs. We lost thousands of jobs as a result of that. When we lost Eastland Mall, that added to that. Okay, those 2 entities alone gave a negative stigma to the future of East Charlotte at that time. It's like, East Charlotte is going down, so why would businesses stay, or why would businesses come? We have to get back to our branding. So getting jobs in, getting a Charlotte East Partners organization that is going to help with the marketing and branding and attracting of new businesses is one thing. The other is green jobs. California has shown us successfully how you can create green energy jobs with great paying salaries and getting people certified, and also not only saving the environment but saving lives by providing a good quality jobs. I want to make sure, on a steering committee of a project called the Mayfield Project, that is headed by Pastor Weary of the Mayfield Memorial Baptist Church on Sugar Creek Road, what is a public-private partnership with churches that will help build affordable housing units using their land, because we don't have sufficient land to be able to build affordable housing units. So in doing so, the churches are agreeing to allow their land to be used to build affordable housing units on them. And in addition to building affordable housing units, they're going to provide support for those residents. And in providing those support, we will also make sure that green energy, such as solar panels, will be built and added to those facilities. That being providing jobs, creating new jobs, getting people certified. We're talking about people that is also going to be living in those units to also get certified and trained, not only how to install them, but how to maintenance them. We're talking about jobs that can be anywhere from $20 to $50 an hour when you're talking about green energy jobs. Those are things that are sustainable. We must get into out-of-the-box thinking, getting a new vision. Okay. In addition to that, we must make sure that also the construction jobs that are being so vibrant in this city right now, those jobs also must be provided, that are, as construction is done in East Charlotte, that we hire East Charlotte businesses or East Charlotte residents who are certified to help do those jobs, whether it be street maintenance or building development. We have those that are available to do that. We must make sure that those jobs are available to those who are also in the community that can do those jobs.
Our nearest shopping center has 5 attractors for us. It's got a pizza place, it's got a library, it's got a food line, it's got a Subway and a couple other restaurants, it's got a Family Dollar. These are all places we go to, but we don't like going there because there are some people who hang out, and there's a police presence almost all the time because there's nothing for them to do, so they hang out. One thing when you talk about affordable housing, and God bless people who build affordable housing, you need to have just a place to walk where you can hang out. This is your diner. This is your coffee shop. This is your place to hang out. This is your grocery store. This is your dry cleaner. This is your barber shop. This is just the basic amenities that every community needs in walking distance. If you put people here, but they got to drive 5 miles here just to get to any amenities, we've been talking affordable housing. How many people you think got cars?
And when we're talking about that type of subject, we're talking about desert communities, so to speak. We have these communities,
talking food desert type of community,
food
right?
desert communities where they don't have the grocery stores and other amenities within a certain radius. They're having to literally have to drive or get a city bus to get to
I've
shopping.
been in that position myself, and it is a pain. You know how much time it takes to take a bus to go shopping and then back?
I get
Not
that.
to mention you can't get as much
That's
because
correct.
you're holding it.
Right. So we must make sure as we're doing these developments going forward that those things are continually considered in the development, that you have those agreements with those grocers and other socially needed businesses that will help those communities, because we have all of these South End and the NODA and other areas are being developed, and they have those close proximity amenities, the grocery stores and things where they can go and shop.
You don't even
we
need
need
a
to make
grocery
sure
store.
that those type of development is something that is a part of everything going
You
forward.
can have small business. You can have. I lived in a place where didn't have a grocery store, but you had a greengrocer.
Uh-huh.
You had a bakery. You had a butcher shop. You had, that's many years later, a specialty cheese shop. I loved that place. You had a wine shop. You can have smaller businesses take care of all the needs of the people. You don't need a grocery store per se. You just need people running smaller businesses that are part of the grocery store.
Where there's
I would
where
like to
there's a
have
chain-
jobs.
Whether it's a chain or is a privately owned small business, we need that to be a part of all the future developments to eliminate the, as we call it, the food desert areas that don't have those amenities. So it's not about having to have a chain. You don't need to have a Food Lion or Harris Teeter, what have you. You need to have whatever businesses would like to be there, that would be there and provide those services and be able to prosper, provide jobs, and also provide the amenities that those communities need.
Would you be in favor of, actually, a precursor question. You would be one of 10 councilmen. We have 6 districts and 4 at-large districts.
7 districts,
7 districts. Excuse me, so we have 11
councilmen.
11 councilmen for a city of 800,000.
Uh-huh.
Shaking my head. Don't seem quite enough. Anyway, how much power would you as a councilman have for our district, for the East Side District, to get some of the program you're talking about, to make sure the affordable housing is built, to make sure that the code is, because I've been in places where I go, I'm shaking my head, because like I know you're not up to code. If there is a code, I know you're in violation of it.
Okay. A city council representative for a district is only as strong as their relationship with their communities.
That's
Amen.
true.
You're
That's
you're
true.
you're an
That's very
individual
true.
that are representing
Yeah.
thousands, and you're only as strong as those you're representing being in your corner and supporting your initiatives
That's
and your
true.
vision.
That's
Not only
very
they
true.
supporting,
Yes.
they need to understand. Meaning, me as a representative need to be clear
Understand
with
each
my
other.
community on understanding my vision for the community. So having that support base, and them being there at city council meetings when there are issues coming up affecting East Charlotte, having them there. You're
Yes.
only as strong as the community is there with you. So I would have a lot of influence in getting those things done in a much more efficient fashion, knowing that my
The
community
community
is there, is
support.
worth
We
there
are-
and their support.
Yes,
So how do you
that's
get
so
that
true.
support? Be about your community. So we have a lot of things that are in need in East Charlotte. And if you allow me, can I take you on a walk
yes,
for a
please
moment?
do. Oh, we will be back. We'll be back.